Hello guys, my name is Adrian and welcome to another video. If you're new to the channel, I'm trying here to create my own game engine in order to be used for some game that I'm developing live on stream. So, I thought that I was done with the platforms module because my game engine, it's structured in modules that I want to use them something similar with Lego bricks, if you are familiar with them. So I have this platforms module, which is responsible for the window, for the input, for the window events, and of course, for the OpenGL context. And I realized that I don't support, for example, full screen. And I want today to implement the full screen. But in order to implement the full screen in a Win32 application, we need to do some things related to the monitors. Also, we need to set some flags for the window. So, what we can do now, we can just start. By the way, if you're new to the channel, we try to upload videos like very often. As soon as we get the game engine into some state, the live streams will be almost daily because we are working on something called Project Stone. You already have a few live streams on the channel. So let's start. The first thing that I would like to do, it will be to add a new header here, and I will call it platform monitor. Why platform monitor? Because I want to keep this with platform function and so on. So for the platform monitor, what I will do in it? Namespace, core, base, like for any other base class from the base folder. And in here we'll have something like class, platform, monitor. And for it, a public, and I will have just a virtual. Of course, we need to have a destructor for all the base classes that we have, and I will have a virtual auto init function, which should return some void, nothing more than. Other than this, I would like to have some width, okay, and some height. This is my base, let's say, platform monitor base class. What remains for us to do? First, we need to go into the platforms factory. And in here, what we will do, we'll have an include platform monitor. And let's move this down, for example, and we can have something like another one, virtual auto, create platform monitor. Okay, constant, and the AI already knows we are trying to have this platform. Good. Now, because we created this one, we need to kind of also do something in here. Let's also copy this. So, auto, and we have the platform monitor. I will create just a second to sort, and I'll create the function, and what it remains for us in our Windows folder to create a new class called platform monitor. Of course, we need to add the platform monitor CPP here, the source to be, I don't know, take it for the build. And in here, what remains for us? Just a second, let's make a build to make CMake to reload. And what it remains for us? We have here a final, and we are doing some small inheritance from the platform monitor. And what remains for us? This, of course, the namespace needs to be Windows. Okay. And what remains for us is to generate this function. After that, in here, what we can do, we can include our platform monitor into the Windows factory, and we are sure that we kind of create a platform monitor on the Windows factory. Okay, now we have the platform, we have a factory. That's pretty much cool for now. And let's start with the monitor. We have here I think we can skip this. Okay, so here we have the init, and inside the init function from the platform monitor, I'm talking about the module, the Windows part from the module. This is everything related to the Win32 API. So what we are trying to do for those that are new to the channel with this platforms module, it's something similar with GLFW or SDL and all that type of libraries. So we'll have a constant auto monitor, and we'll have a function monitor from window, and as the first parameter, it will expect to get a window. But if you are putting the null pointer and at the end we are putting the second flag as default to primary, if you put here a null, it will try to return a monitor that it's kind of the primary monitor that you set in case you have two monitors. Now we have this, we need to create this structure, info, monitor info extension, monitor info. I will initialize it with empty. And after that, we need to have something like this CB size. This is very similar with what we have in the window folder. And we need to specify the size of the structure as the monitor info extension. After that, we can have this get monitor info function where you're giving the monitor. And the second parameter will be monitor info. And at the end, we are doing the width equal with this monitor info. You have this rectangle monitor, RC, this comes from the rect. And you have this right minus left, very classic, and for the height, we have bottom, minus top. And this is how we take for a monitor, we take let's say the width and the height. From this monitor extension, we can get the name of the monitor, but for now, I don't need it. So I will make it a skip. I use the monitor info extension just to have the name of the monitor. But for now, we will not use it. I will let it like this with extension, but maybe it will be used in the future. For now, we are more than okay. Good. We have the monitor, we have everything that we want. It's time to go into our window folder, and what we can have here, we want to create a new header called configuration. Okay, configuration, it's okay. In the header, of course, we will include it here also in the precompiled headers. So be sure that we don't we don't include window configuration all over the place. We want to be sure that we put it here in the headers, HPP, and it's included by default by the CMake. Okay, here we are having a namespace, core window, very classic. This is the way that on how we are writing the namespaces, and the first element that I'm trying to create here, it's string. We will have a string view, not a string. Why? Because I'm not trying to save this string. I'm just wanted to use it just as something to pass by. Okay, I will not store the title of the window anywhere. So we'll have a width. We'll have a height for the configuration of a window. what we can have. I want to have if I have a full screen, for example, and if the let's say the window is maximized. Okay, this is the minimum, let's say, information that I want from a configuration for the window. Okay, that's the minimum amount of configuration that you want. So let's compile and let's see what we can do with that configuration. Okay, dokie. It seems that it's compiling good. The first part that we want to do, because the title is now part of the configuration, we'll try to use this window configuration and we'll have the configuration. This is what we need for our window now. Let's try to align a little the situation. So because I put it in the base class, it's very simple. I need to go into my inherited class to put it there. Now here we need to add the core, of course. I will make an indentation and I will go in here and remove the title. And now what we can have is configuration.title data. So what I did so far, I just created a structure where I have different parameters, and the first usage of it is to give it to a window. And of course, we will use these parameters for some things. For now, we just set it for the title. What we can do further is to go into the, for example, to go here, to copy this configuration, and to go into the window manager. And for the init function, we want to add a second parameter, the configuration. I will go into the source file and I will add it here also. And now you can see already that we have here we had it somehow hard-coded the name of the project, but we don't want that anymore. So what we can give already is to give the whole configuration. Later on, at some point, we will do some configuration also for the window context for the OpenGL with things like samples. Well, I don't know, if you have an sRGB buffer and all that kind of things that we can send to the window context. But for now, we are keeping it just for the window itself. Now this is where the things are becoming more serious. If we are going into the window, I want first, as the first item on the list, I want to go in here and to have, for example, another function, register style. Okay, and for the register style, we will try to give this configuration. Okay, it's okay. I know for the styles we will not use, for example, the width, the height, and the title, but we will use the last two parameters, the maximized and the full screen. So we already see that we have here some styles. Okay, you can see this, that we have it in here, and we want to do something with them. So if we want, maybe we can put it here to be prettier. Why not? If it makes any sense or not. In case it doesn't, we'll keep it like this. Okay, so probably I will put it here. Sorry, I don't want to do that, but it's kind of in my head. So I need to do it. Okay, we have this, and in here, what we are doing in the window register style, we'll do the following. If the configuration full screen is false, what I want to do, I want to check again. So if I'm not having a full screen request, I'm checking if it's maximized. And if it's maximized, I want to add to my style maximize flag. Okay. And later on, I want to add exactly this one, the overlap up window. And of course, in here, let's register the style with the configuration. Why not? And at the end, like I said, I will have that. Otherwise, what I will do for the style, I will kind of make an addition here, and I will use pop-up window. So what we are doing here, based on the configuration, we are checking if we are maximized. We want to have the window started as a maximized window, but if we are in the full screen, we want to have it full screen. Now, what we need to do further? Further, we'll do something like this. I want to have I will have it as a constant expression because it will not be changed. So we have a frame X equal with this flag, and of course for it I will have a frame Y. This is just a personal taste. You can skip it, it's not necessary, but I want to have. After that we'll have the just a second, auto frame W equal with the configuration width, and for the height with the configuration height. Just a second, this alignment needs to be done. And what I can do further here, I will use frame W and frame hash. That simple. Probably I can kind of split this in two. Why not? Let's see. So what we need to do here, this is more like we are already using now. Now we are using the configuration. So the whole idea is like if I'm setting some size for the window, now it's taken in consideration. It's not hard-coded anymore. So we had a kind of hard-coded. So what I want to check is something like this. Configuration full screen equal with false. And what we need to do here, we will have a rectangle and we'll call it frame. I will have it with 0, 0, configuration width and configuration height. Okay, so I'm creating a frame and I'm saying that, hey, the frame for the window should be like starting from 0, 0, and it should have this width and height. After that, we are doing something like adjust window rectangle on this frame. So this is a parameter that will be modified. So it will take another, it will have different values after we are executing this function. And we will need to call the version with the extension or extra at the end, and we pass the parameter extra. What this function does, it's something like this. So you are requesting a window that is, for example, 1000 by 1000. If you don't call this function 1000 by 1000, let's say the bar of the application, the top bar of the application, will be considered part of the window. Okay, sorry, now I have an error, need to kind of, let's try to fix it fast, if we can't. Okay, we cannot because now we're missing some configuration, but what it happens is like the top bar kind of gets some space. So if you are requesting something like 1000 by 1000, you will have for the height, let's say, less pixels. Okay, so by doing this, based on the styles that we are saying, like with if it has a if it's decorated or not, the window, it will try to give you some new width and height. So now what we are doing in here, after we are adjusting the rectangle, we are just passing to the frame width and height, we are sending the new value. So now the new window, it will kind of be sure that the space in the window, it will not be taken by the top bar. Okay, if you are setting like some resolution, this is what you get in the window mode. Okay, that's very, very, very important. Okay, so what remains for this tutorial? For this tutorial remains the following. First, I want to kind of, not here, sorry, somewhere around here, why not? I want to have a constant auto, platform monitor, equal with the factory, and we're creating a monitor. And for the platform monitor, I want to call the init function, which will initialize the width and the height. Very important. After that, I want to have a constant core window configuration, and for it, I want the following to be platform framework. Okay, I want to have the old size for the window. I want to have it as a false, not full screen. But for example, I want to have it as minimized. And what remains for us is to just, let's say, use this configuration. In order to have clarity, maybe I will call this window configuration, just to be sure. Now, if we are running the program and everything is okay, we are having a window that it's very maximized and working correctly. If I put in here the false, I should get, for example, the window as normal. Okay. And what remains for us? For example, I want to have it full screen. So I will put here a true, but if I'm running in this way, I'll have it full screen, but not with the complete information. Okay. So what remains for me to do, instead of having like this, I can comment this for now. I need to put something like platforms monitor, width, and height. So now if I'm running, I can have, for example, the full screen. Okay. Now it's nice for this full screen is that compared to the GRFW, doesn't block the window, doesn't block the application. You can go with the mouse into the next monitor, do whatever you want. So this is at least how I would prefer to have a game. Because maybe, for example, I have two monitors and sometimes when I'm playing something or watching something, I want to do something on the second monitor, maybe to answer some comments of yours and so on. So this is the behavior that I want for my application when it is in the full screen. So for now, this is what we have implemented. The platform monitor, it is very important. It helps you to kind of have the full size of the, let's say, the full size of the monitor. And this is how we can kind of now have also full screen. I hope this is all from the platforms. I don't really have anything in mind right now that we would need. Probably things like events when you are resizing the window, when you are kind of focusing the window, when you are kind of leaving the mouse and it's not focused on your window and so on. This can be added later and I will add them based on the need that I will have for my game firstly. So this is what I have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, a like, it's very appreciated. If you want to give some feedback, you can always write a comment. I'm pretty active around the comments and I like to answer all of them. You can ask any question. If you have any feedback, like I said, very appreciated. If you didn't have the chance to subscribe, now it's your chance. I'm doing a lot of, and I have a big plan for a game that will start from scratch until it will reach the Steam platform. So it will be a lot of experience and knowledge to share with you. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Have a nice day.